So what is the Pop Life? Over the past 3 months since I've been organizing and putting this event together, that is the number one question that I haven't received. I take it is, what is the Pop Life? Well, the simple answer is living your life pursuing your passion. Pretty self-explanatory. And that sounds pretty easy. Because if you're an artist and you enjoy art, do art. If you're a musician, do music. If you decided that you want to practice law or medicine, become a lawyer or a doctor. Maybe you simply want to be a ventriloquist. If you want to be a ventriloquist, talk to puppets all day, that's quite all right. Because if that's what you're passionate about, that's what you should do. As a matter of fact, in 2016, here at the Ritz, we had a young lady come and perform. Her name is Megan Pythas. Now, Megan's claim to fame, she was a contestant on America's Got Talent a few years ago, and she's a ventriloquist. But Megan was valedictorian of her high school class, went on to Vanderbilt, and you can find her on Facebook. She has hundreds of thousands of views. And if you've ever seen her perform, the smile that she put on people's faces, not just children, people that's our age, because of the creative flair that she brings to ventriloquism, is something that gives her joy every single day. So for something to sound so simple, why is it so hard? And I say, or rather I ask, why is it so hard? Because in 2015, Forbes magazine released an article. And that article said, unhappy employees outnumber happy ones 2-to-1. And they did a statistical breakdown. 13%, and this, by the way, was a statistical compilation of the world, not just here in the US. So 13% of the world's population loves their job. And you've seen it when you go to work. First thing you see when you wake up, when you get to work in the morning, good morning, how are you today? Oh, I'm just happy to be here. Just, what's wrong with this? 3 other doors water. Haven't even gotten halfway through my coffee, you want to talk to me. 13% love what they do, fully engaged. Well, there's 24% that flat out hate their job. They ain't trying to front or make any excuses for it. We've seen them too. Good morning, can I take your order? Yes, ma'am, please, I just need a moment to take a look at me. Well, hurry up, you've been sitting here all this time. Why haven't you seen the mirror? You know what you want yet. And I say that jokingly about fast food, but they're in every profession. Hate their job. And then you have 63% of the population. They're disengaged, but they're on autopilot. Going through life, the mundane routine of just simply doing their job. We've seen them too. Some of us are them. Because if it says 63% of the population, I haven't done a count of everybody that's in the room, but somebody either get the 13, the 24, or the 63. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand. So, it's not as easy as it may seem. But why is that? Why is it that so many of us have traded in living a life of passion for simply living life to get by? And that's not necessarily living life to get by financially, because there are some people who are making 6 and 7 figures miserable, hate what they're doing. So I'm not even speaking about economics. I'm speaking about internal fulfillment. Somewhere along the way, we traded it in. And I have a theory as to why. At some point, we decided we did not want to pay the cost of the pursuit. I learned some time ago, whenever you want to discover the meaning of a word, if the definition has the word that you're looking up, find a different definition. because you can't use a word to define itself. So 6 years ago, I began looking up the word pursuit. I was curious. And Lil Weeby said, that's Webster, by the way. Webster Dictionary, Lil Weeby. The act of pursuing. And that wasn't sufficient enough for me. Because I know what pursuit has felt like for me. I know what it has looked like for me. But what I saw in that dictionary didn't add up. So the second part of that lesson that I learned whenever looking up a word, if the definition that you see is not adequate, create your own. So I created a definition for pursuit. The blood, sweat, tears, pain, stress, frustration, and sacrifices one invests while manifesting their dreams. That's the pursuit. And so, for some of us, that cost of pursuing our dreams is a little bit too high. Because when you think about that definition, and it's on my shirt if you want a better look. All right, the first look gonna be free, all right? There's nothing easy in that definition. There's nothing in that definition that says, well, all I have to do are these 2 steps, and then, bam, like magic, everything that I desire is going to manifest. No. The blood, sweat, tears, pain, stress, frustration, and sacrifices, it's going to cost us something. And some of us decided at some point we were not willing to pay that cost. But I refuse to believe that anyone in this room or anyone that's positioned on this globe came into this world void of a dream. I refuse to believe that. Because we're all born with something on the inside of us. And as children, that thing began speaking to us. I want to be a police officer. Oh man, I'm going to be a fireman. I'm going to be the president of the United States. Kids love to dream. What did you dream about as a child? Now, here's a better question. The thing that you dreamed about as a child, has it manifested now that you're an adult? If those 2 things are not aligned, something happened between our younger years and our adult years. What happened? Speaking from experience, I think we got punched in the mouth at some point. Mike Tyson said many years ago, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. In 2015 or 12, I believe it was, a reporter caught up with Mike Tyson because he began doing this traveling monologue show. Mike Tyson did, speaking about his life's experiences. And the reporter asked the champ to elaborate on what he meant by that statement, because for the reporter, it was one of his most favorite quotes. And Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get hit. Then, like a rat, they stop with fear and freeze. As a child, you said you wanted that particular thing. As a teenager, as a college student, as a young adult, we said we wanted that particular thing. But when we came to the checkout line of life and was told what the cost was going to be, no, I'm straight. I'm good. Well, we pull out our proverbial phone and we go to the bank app. I'm kind of negative in my account. Y'all ain't got no layaway plan? I had a plan for my life. Graduated college in 2004. Check. Left college, went on to seminary school. Graduated Bible school in 2006. Check. Received my ministerial ordination in 2007. Check. Given an assignment to relocate to Tallahassee, Florida to assist with starting a church. Let me get back to you. I went to Tallahassee. But let me paint a picture for you of what that looked like before I left for Tallahassee. Because as a younger man, I was very conflicted internally. I shared very briefly about my passion for dance. I never thought it would be possible to encounter anything in life that would rival my love for dance until 7th grade when I transferred to Southside Middle School and was introduced to the journalism program. Wow! I never experienced love like that before. And so, throughout high school, I continued in the journalism program. My senior year of high school, had an opportunity to become a producer at a radio station. Decided to go on to college to major in communications. Before I became a sophomore in college, I was the director of programming for one of the top urban radio stations in Jacksonville. Loving it. I would stay in the station 2 o'clock in the morning. Not doing nothing, just there. I just wanted to be around the equipment, the microphone, and the music. Had to be in the environment. But I was conflicted because throughout my younger years, I struggled with low self-esteem, confidence, wanting to please other people, especially those that I looked up to. Didn't want to disappoint them. And so, as I entered into my early adult years, I began looking at one of the strongest male examples I had in my life at the time. It was the clergyman behind the pulpit. And I saw the character and the integrity that they operated within. I heard the messages that were coming across. And I said, well, maybe that's what I'm supposed to be. I've always been told that I'm articulate and that I'm well-spoken and that I carry myself very well and that I'm charismatic and people like me and I get along well with other people, with connecting and being able to relate. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. So I began living this double life of having this passion for radio, but the spiritual leadership that I was governed by telling them, yeah, I think I'm supposed to do this thing in ministry too. Well, I wasn't expecting them to hold me accountable to it. And so there I was, conflicted. My heart is over here, but now everything is over here. So here I am, Tallahassee, Florida. I was there for 2 weeks, and I knew it. I messed up. I knew it instantly. And so the type of person that I am, when I make a commitment, I'm going to stick to my commitment. So I'm going through, handling my ministerial duties and responsibilities. But on the inside, I noticed that something is happening to me. I'm experiencing something I've never encountered before. And it was very quiet. Eating away at the love and the genuineness by which I've always operated. And I found myself saying, well, God, am I going crazy? It has to be me. It's me. That's how I justify it. It is me. There is something wrong with me because every time I talk to somebody, they say that they love what it is that they're doing. So I'm off. And November of that same year, had to go to Orlando for a workshop. And I was a youth minister, so the other youth ministers that I served with for years, they're all in this same room. And the facilitator said, well, tonight, we're just going to throw the agenda out the window. All of you in here are new ministers. We want to just chop it up with you. See how you guys are acclimating to your new positions. And so I'm like, uh-oh, they want to talk. So I was the second to the last individual in the room. And as they're going around the room, The responses are the same. Oh, I love it, man. I get out of my job and I get around young people. Woo! I come alive. Oh, man. Oh, Pastor, look. Oh, Pastor, man, look. Man, I get around these young people, man. I'm telling you, man. I get fired up. Ain't nothing like it. In my head, I can't stand these little jokers in the church. Can I talk to you? Yes. So, it's getting closer to my time. And all the while, I'm having this debate on the inside. All right, what you gonna do? Are you gonna conform and do what you've been doing for the past few years and say what you know they want to hear? Or you gonna keep it 100? So I'm debating. Got to me. I said, you know, one of the things that I've heard today is everyone has a passion for what it is that they're doing. They love what it is that they're doing. I can relate to that. I know what passion is. I've lived it for 12 years of my life. And it's not this. This right here, Pastor, I hate this. I hate this with a passion. And this, I picked up my Bible. This, I don't even want to read that no more. Because I'm sick of people telling me, in order to love what it is that I'm doing, I got to stick my nose in this book and muster up the desire to want to do it. I refuse to accept that. Because no one looks at a bird and gives them a motivational speech on why they should be excited about flying. No one jumps in the ocean and says, okay, buddy, what you want to do is read this instructional book on how to get those gills flapping. No one does that. And I'm sick of people telling me that that's what I have to do what I'm passionate about. No. Everything about me is to communicate and entertain. Everything. The tools, my intellect, my creativity, everything about me flows down that vein. I hate this. And I'm not reading this Bible to try to trick myself to thinking this is what I want to do. A holy hush people around the room. With the exception of the chairs, you can hear scooting away from me. Because they weren't sure if lightning was going to come to the top of the roof. But you know what? I felt such a release. Whoa! I was 28 years old. That was one of the first times in my life that I can remember saying exactly what it was that I felt out loud to be heard by other people. So the facilitator's like, well, Minister Davis, when you get back to Tallahatchie, you might want to have a conversation with your pastor. All right, cool. So I'm driving back to Tallahatchie. Tell pastor exactly what it is and what they going to do. So I got back to Tallahatchie. No, you know, pastor. What had happened was I was in Orlando. Right? Long story short, I decided to conform again. Because I didn't want to disappoint the pastor. They were relying on me as their youth minister. Those youth were relying on me as their youth minister. So I stayed. And that thing I made mention of on the inside continued to become more intense. It was an overwhelming swell of depression. So what I found happening, Wednesdays and Sundays were the worst days of the week on the calendar for me because it was time to go to church. I would lay there in bed, look up at the ceiling and cry when the alarm clock went off on Wednesday and Sunday morning. I hated it.